I don't know one person who likes to edit videos. And so I said, let's figure out what Claude can do for us in this case. I created a bunch of skills, a little bit of Python, and here's what we got. So we have this video here. It's kind of like a non-copyrightable video that I kind of asked, can you make a trailer out of this? So it's like this 10-minute video about the bunny, and there's these squirrels that are evil, and the bunny likes the butterfly and all that. And I said, let's add some music to that and see if Claude, with a bunch of skills and a few tools that we wrote in Python, if it could create a good trailer. And so I just want to show you the result of that before I jump into how this was made. So here's the trailer. Let's see how it went. So if you ask me, that was pretty good for AI, but it wouldn't happen out of the box. So I want to show you what I did here. By the way, it's all going to be open source. Check the description. Here's how it went. I basically just said this. I said, take the MP4 that we have in our directory. So I put it under inputs here. Take the trailer music and just create a 30-second trailer. And so the way that this works underneath the hood is the following. It takes the raw MP4 and kind of tries to transcribe, create a grid of all the different frames, and tries to understand what's going on there. And it creates this kind of JSON file of how it wants to edit the file. So it's cool because it's very general, but also it's very easy for an LLM to understand. So if it needs to change a scene or something like that, it changes a few words here and there. So basically it goes into this like understanding mode, then the edit JSON mode, which is a file that's very easy for it to manipulate. Then it creates a report to like validate that things are according to what we wanted, and then it generates the final MP4. So it uses a lot of ffmpeg and Python libraries to kind of do the cutting and all that. So it has a lot of tools to do that. And the cool thing, you can use it to different things. It could edit the video you're watching right now too. And that was kind of my original idea. And so if we go in and see what's happening here, it's basically starting to understand what's going with the video, creating the JSON file. Here's a little bit of how that JSON file looks, and it has these clips. So it shows like, here's the source input. So it can have, by the way, different MP4s that it's bunching together, it can overlay them and can do a bunch of different things, and then gives it a start and an end and the rationale behind why it's putting that clip there. And so at the end, when it does that, it, renders the whole thing. I just want to show you how a little bit of like the inside works. If this is good enough for you, just go check the GitHub. But if you're more nerdy like me, you'd probably want to see this. So I asked it to kind of print out the files that I created in between. Let's open them and kind of show you what it does. So one idea that I had was, how can we give an LLM an understanding of a video? So I said, what if we create like a grid of all the images and basically show the AI what's going on and give it like a numbering frame. So I had to put that it has like a nice black background, white on top. So it's not on top of the video itself. A few like little tricks like that you don't need to waste time with. And basically it starts with a coarse grid. So it has more time in between these grids, right? Because the less time you have, the more grids you'll have, and it's more LLM tokens that you need to spend. So at the beginning, it's very coarse. It has a lot of delay, like time in between these frames. And when it understands, hey, I'm kind of interested in what's going on in this section, it will create another grid that's more fine-grained inside of those grids. So a more fine-grained one would probably be something like this. 1 second. So you see the time span between each frame is much smaller, so it has more information on what's going on. That's very helpful when it needs to cut something in a precise location. And so that's kind of like the grid detection. It does a lot of transcription. So if you're giving it a video like me talking right now, it probably wants to cut all my ums and all that type of stuff. So it does a segmentation of where I'm talking, and then it can understand that and know where it wants to cut. The moment it has that, it creates this JSON file. I just want to show you quickly how that looks like. It's basically this, and it gives us what the FPS is. It's good for ffmpeg, like a bunch of bugs I dealt with, you just have out of the box. It says what music we want to work with, and then the clips, right? And so I have when the start, when the end is, and all of that is put here. So if it then validates it and said, hey, this is kind of not a good clip, it can just replace that and it would re-render everything without having to do all the other work you already did. So just wanted to show you that. They called it a very like normal name. I called it video agent. You can use this. You can probably expand this, make a better thing out of it. the skills that we have inside of it. Let's see what I wrote here. You have editor, you have the cutting rhythms, filler removals, captions, video overlay, color grading, audio editing, reframe, remotion, like even grok video editing. I was playing with like, could we do a fireball? So yeah, those are the types of things that we added. For the basic thing, you just need Claude, and so you don't need any API key. I hope this is cool. Let me know what videos you make with it, and see you later.